Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the Tier 9 Japanese aircraft carrier, the Taiho, and I'm using these modules and commander skills. It's a match I played very recently, and I want to illustrate how you can strafe out of a fighter lock now with your fighters. I am against an Essex, and since I've already played the match, I know that the Essex is air superiority, whereas I am 232, which means he has more fighter squadrons with more planes per squadron, and the planes are stronger as well. So I flew my planes immediately towards the middle, and I wanted to go for that Amagi, or well, anything that I could find initially. But it seems there are many ships around Yamagi, which is why I pulled my planes back. Specifically, I was thinking about the Minotaur and the Neptune. So instead, I'm gonna go for this Iowa or the Takao. I'm not quite certain which one is a better choice. So I can see enemy fighter planes around, which means that likely he is going to come to try to interrupt, and unfortunately I don't think I can take his fighters over mine, so these torpedo bombers are essentially dead after this drop, because I don't really see them being able to survive. I wouldn't want to fight in this kind of a position. I'll try to, avoid as much as I can, but it's probably not possible. Now after this, I'll do a follow-up with my dive bombers, and I think I'll try to use my fighters to... Well, I should want to use them to defend against my... I should try to use them to defend my destroyers against the dive bombers, but it's probably not going to work out very well, considering the dive bombers are already there. I mean, oh, my DDs are sitting in smoke, so perhaps it can work. This was a rather successful strafe, I would say. And now I'll just lock both, and hopefully this will bring enemy fighters around, and meanwhile I can do a drop on this Iowa with my dive bombers, hopefully starting a fire that will stick for a while. Although it depends. Okay, the enemy fighters are going for my dive bombers instead of the fighters. I suppose that makes sense since the dive bombers are already gone. And it actually seems the Takao does have defensive fire, which is rather unfortunate because it meant that my dive bombers did not get a very good drop, because they were panicked. So, my torpedo bombers are ready, I am launching them, and I'm gonna go towards the seaside with them, because he probably doesn't expect me to be there immediately. And now I'm gonna just try to interrupt his fighters as much as I can. I mean, I just got the strafe for 3 plane kills. And by the way, this is the fighter lock. Look, I just strafed out of my planes being locked. And this keeps the enemy fighters locked for a slight duration. As you saw, they just stood still. And with this you can do all kinds of crazy things. You're supposed to lose a plane while strafing. Although from what I understand, the Saipan does not lose a plane while strafing. But I mean, think about this. I am a Japanese carrier, and I've killed, what is that? That's like 6 plus 5, that's like 8 planes. Maybe slightly more. I don't know, I didn't quite notice the exact numbers. I killed 8 of the enemy fighters, and wasted a lot of their ammunition. Those are US fighters as well. And I only lost my 10 fighters in return, and this was on the enemy side of the map as well. And because they are US fighters, they will now have to fly back to the Essex, land, and then they will have to recharge and get back, and basically this will take far longer than my fighters will take. So I did a drop on the Taka. Unfortunately I kinda screwed up, so one of them didn't hit. But I'll try to reposition. Oh, I didn't actually even need it. Well, I lost 2 on my planes, well 3 now. I'm just gonna get them back and land. Oh, and there goes the 4th one. Unfortunately, the Fletcher had defensive fire, so that one caught me slightly off guard. Although I suppose it shouldn't be that surprising. So, the enemy has fighters, well, 1 fighter up right now. I saw it for a moment on the minimap, but it means he didn't recharge them. That fighter does not have all that much ammunition. And the other fighters should be recharging. So I wanted to use my dive bombers here, because I didn't have a better target. I don't want to go into a Minotaur's and Neptune's combined anti-air to try to strike an Alabama. I mean, that's just throwing the planes away. And since they were here anyway, I just tried to click on the Fletcher. Oh, okay, it seems the enemy fighters actually did not go for a recharge. So they are simply here. And, well, hello. This strafe should be... Yep. Another 2 plane kills. And, I mean... Because he didn't recharge his fighters, he is at a rather significant fighter fighting disadvantage. I know it sounds complicated, but basically it means that the enemy couldn't probably properly fight me head on here, because I would probably get an advantage, and he is the air superiority Essex. He only has 2 dive bombers. Meanwhile, I've already sunk 1 ship and dealt rather significant damage to an Iowa. So I want to bring my 2nd fighter squadron around here, just fly around a little bit, because I knew there's a Fletcher around, to just show it to my team. I don't want to get too close though, because apparently the Fletcher has some anti-air and I don't want to lose random planes. I want to bring my torpedo bombers over here. I'm thinking of dropping on the Taihou that our Amagi is chasing at the A-cap. And I'll think about doing it, but maybe I'll go for something else, like the Iowa at the bottom. Although I'm not quite certain which is the better decision. I'll bring my dive bombers also over there in that direction. Obviously. And here is the Fletcher again. I wish my team actually fired at her. It's alright though. We are ahead. The enemy team has lost 4 ships, we've lost 3. And okay, there is the Taihou, so she will probably turn in, which is kinda expected. Okay. Oh my god, he used defensive fire. Never mind. I'll just leave then. On the bright side, at least the Atago or Taihou has such bad anti-air that even with defensive fire up, I didn't lose a single plane. So I'll just try to go and finish off this Iowa. I'm not certain if I need the dive bombers here though. I think once the Yamagi catches up with the Taihou, she will delete her. Okay, that was unfortunate. Okay, so I strafed out of the lock to try to strafe that dive bomber squadron, and I actually got some. Unfortunately, my 2nd fighter squadron wasn't quite around, so it didn't go so well, but it went alright. Okay, so the enemy fighters are all congregated, and I will get a decent strafe. Unfortunately, it does take that friendly fighter, but it should be alright. Now I want to just strafe out of this. I'll get slightly closer to the Zao, and look, you can literally just leave. It's rather incredible. And now I get the strafe in as well. Killed the plane. Very nice. Okay, so my planes finally arrived at the Iowa. Time to try to position for a drop, and I guess I'll use my dive bombers on the Amagi, since she is a fairly decent target. Okay, hello Iowa, and this should be rip in peace. If you've never played Path of Exile, I recommend it. It's a pretty nice game. And if you're wondering where it came from, well, if you play it, you'll find out. Okay, so that's Iowa gone, and I got the fire on the Yamagi from 10 dive bomber hits. One fire from then 10 dive bomber hits. That's rather unlucky, but maybe the bombs hit like, I don't know, like maybe the section that was on fire got like 8 bomb hits or something, so obviously you can't set one section on fire the 2nd time. So I brought one torpedo bomber over here for a moment out of the, you know, return flat path to spot the Taihou for the Yamagi. And well, there she goes, in one shot from full HP by the Yamagi. I guess chasing around that island might have been worth it. Oh, and the fire actually took out Yamagi. That's really nice. You know, I was hoping that I might get a double strike here. You see, you would ask, oh, but what do you mean double strike? You can get devastating strikes this way if you hit the target with enough damage at one time, plus damage over time effects. Even if the ship dies like, I don't know, 30 seconds later, you can still get a devastating strike from it. So I was wondering maybe the double strike situation works the same way. But basically, you've seen me fight an air superiority Essex, where he should be able to take my squadrons on one by one. Sure, he isn't playing all that well, I mean, with all the way he sails or flies into my strafing, but basically, I would still be getting destroyed much more if there were no fight, if you didn't have the ability to fly out of the fighter lock with a strafe. But again, remember, you lose a plane, except if you're on the Saipan, then you don't lose any. So I find this nice TIE bomber over here, so I'll just strafe it. Now, one thing that I dislike doing these kinds of strafes is that fighter planes are sometimes so much faster than the strike planes that if you strafe, your plane might just fly past the strike plane and then nothing happens. In this case though, he just avoided it. So, no credits, well, 270,000 credits, a devastating strike, 122,000 damage, and 1550 basic experience. Not that good, but compared to the Essex, 507. But that's not the important part. Look at the other thing. 38 plane kills on me, 22 on the Essex, and he is air superiority, and yet I still killed 3 ships too. So here's the detailed report. Well, my damage didn't really go onto that many ships, but I shot down more fighters than I actually lost fighters this game. Oh, and actually made a profit. That's actually surprising. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then like it, and I would like to thank the Patreons on Patreon. There's 2 new ones. Thank you very much for your support, Twin Deer, and I hope I see you guys next time.